Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a man who lived to serve his community is honored at a popular festival here in the Commonwealth. And an Eastern Kentucky church holds a special Sunday service to give flood survivors a bit of comfort as they continue to recover.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you here on this Monday morning. It's almost 6 o'clock. We're getting started a little bit early here on the 6 o'clock. Let's head over to Brandon for a look at our forecast, and really just fog. That's it.
That's it. I mean, the forecast, the cold front came through yesterday, brought us some showers and storms. Had a couple severe storms in parts of Southwest Virginia and East Tennessee, but those are gone. Cooler air is moving in along with the fog. All right, let's take a look at our UVA WISE cam that literally just went out there. Give it just a second before we go to it, see if it'll come back. It does this all the time. There it goes. It glitched for a second. We're looking over there in Southwest Virginia. They're down to 46 now. Visibility 10 miles. Dew points in the 40s. So, again, not too bad out there this morning. Again, coolest spot in the region at 46, 59. And Prestonsburg is the other spot on the range there this morning, the warm spot. 56 Jackson, and in Pikeville, everybody else upper 40s and low 50s across the region. Hazard 55, Somerset, Manchester 54. Across the state and region, 59 in Louisville. That is the warm spot around here. 57 in Owensboro and Bowling Green. 56 Nashville. 50 in Paducah and 54 in the Tri-Cities. 56 across the river in Cincinnati. A little extra to max warming needed on your coffee meter this morning, but for the next dozen hours in the donut forecast, I think you're going to enjoy that. As the donuts go away, you'll see lots of sunshine and temperatures in the low 70s this afternoon. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, the World Chicken Festival took place in London during the weekend, but throughout one popular festival event, festival organizers wanted to honor a beloved community member in a big way. Alyssa Williams has that story.
World Chicken Festival goers lined the streets of London on Saturday to watch beauty queens, unique cars, and other parade participants roll down the streets. But for one Laurel County family, this year's festival has a bigger meaning than ever before.
Very exciting. He deserved it, and I was just very happy that they let us do it today.
Andrew Hurley is the son of the late Travis Hurley, a former lieutenant with the London Police Department who died earlier this year.
He had the biggest laugh. It was infectious, and he just had such a big personality, and he was just a joy to be around.
To pay tribute to Hurley, the World Chicken Festival board made him the Grand Marshal of this year's parade.
Travis Hurley was unanimously decided by our board to honor him for serving our community. Being a police officer, he also worked in the schools as a school officer. He set the example of what it's like to go over and beyond to serve our community.
Hurley's wife, son, and brother rode in Hurley's Jeep to represent him in the parade.
And after everything he's done for the city and stuff, it's great that they're willing to do that for him, and I think he deserves it.
Those who knew Hurley say although they want him to be honored in this way, he might have felt different.
He would be so like, oh man, don't do all that for me, but he's worth it, and it's worth it. So we're very honored that we can still do this for him.
Honoring the legacy of a man who knew how to lead the flock. In London, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, the London Police Department is also working on a memorial ride for Hurley outside of its building. Those with the department say they hope to provide a space for Hurley's loved ones to come to remember him for the community servant he was. A farm in Johnson County encouraged people to learn a bit more about its livestock this past weekend. Lavender Springs Alpaca is inviting people out for National Alpaca Farm Days to learn a bit more about the farm's animals and what can be done with their fleece. The owner says the alpacas, which are a native in Peru, are very comfortable here in the hills of eastern Kentucky.
There's uneven terrain. The temperatures can range, from really cold to really hot. And alpacas are adaptable to most areas, but here it's kind of very similar to where they're from originally.
Along with interacting with the farm's animals, people of all ages were invited for crafts, yoga, story time, and to browse local vendors. Well, people hit the waters in Floyd County during the weekend for one final kayak to end the season. The Lavender Fork Paddle Festival finished up its last voyage of 2022. But instead of kayakers hitting the normal route on the Loiza Fork, they hit the waters of Dewey Lake instead. Samantha Johnson, executive director of Prestonsburg Tourism, says the change could prove more difficult for some, but people were up bright and early, eager to get on the water.
You have no current to work against, but you also don't have a current to push you through. So you're kayaking the entire time and paddling, but it's a beautiful ride, and it's a great time.
While this was the last Paddle Fest of 2022, the event will be back in May of 2023, and there is still tons of exciting events to look forward to in and around Prestonsburg, such as the Jenny Wiley Festival coming up in early October. Well, more than 10 years have passed since the tornado destroyed homes and businesses in West Liberty. Now the town has rebuilt back to holding its cherished traditions. The Sorghum Festival is a part of those traditions, and it made its annual return this past weekend with a big tent and sizzling sorghum. Morgan County native Ann Leach says the area is thriving once again.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. Since I grew up here and all the time, and I came back up after the tornado, and it was devastating, but I'm so thankful to get to see the sorghum going.
Morgan County officials say clamp procedures are still in place as debris from the tornado spread across the area. Well, a local church held a special Sunday service for flood survivors staying at the Carr Creek campgrounds. Our Chandler Wilcox reports on how the church is giving back to flood victims.
Almost 2 months since the flood, leaves are starting to hit the ground as a slight breeze at Carr Creek hints fall has arrived. Summit Community Church held a service for flood victims staying at the park, bringing some joy to a cloudy day and season of life for survivors.
Thankfully, a lot of people from the church came today, and a lot of people that were staying here came and were able to get food, and we tried to help people and that sort of thing.
Church groups from outside of the area have also joined in the mission.
We wanted to come down and help them with the effort and love our state and love the folks and meet any needs we can and try to help come alongside them in that effort. So
their effort got tougher when rain started to pour down, starting a rush to get everyone under some form of cover with their food. As the church delivered goods with rain-soaked clothes, survivors and trailers appreciated the support even more.
You know, for people to come to us and to, bring a sense of normalcy to us, that's just a great feeling, that people find us important and that they want to put forth that effort for us.
Nobody that has been in the area since mid-July is a stranger to rain, so Pastor Combs called it just one more obstacle to overcome.
We'd had it planned to come and do an outdoor service and things, and so when it rains, like we've experienced the past 2 months, you have to just be where you are and serve however you can.
Serving in the sunshine and storms. In Carr Creek, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, flood survivors at the campground are thankful for what churches have done to help them recover. Well, over in Breathitt County, a curfew that's been in place for nearly 2 months, well, it's now been lifted. In a Facebook post, Sheriff John Holland says the curfew ended at 6 o'clock this morning, so 7 minutes past. The curfew was put into place due to the problems with looting after the flooding.
6:07, almost 6:08 here on this Monday morning, and a good morning to you. If you're just getting started, it's a little bit foggy out there in some locations, but not on top of Buffalo Mountain here in Perry County. Looking pretty good up there. But on the cool side, so some light jackets will be needed. 55 on Buffalo and here in Hazard, 49 Clintwood, 46 Wise, 48 Jonesville and Jacksboro, 58 on the other side of the scale there in Prestonsburg. And again, a lot of low to mid 50s out there for the most part this morning. We're looking at the day planner. 53, give or take a degree or two there around 7. 71 by 4 o'clock. I do believe our high temperature for the day will be right around 2 o'clock this afternoon. 73 is where we are headed. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. When we come back here on Mountain News this morning, a hurricane makes its way toward the Sunshine State, putting people at risk of strong winds and severe flooding. Stay with us.